Steady, steady.
I got this.
I don't think that's right, Peyton.
Being a heart surgeon is tough.
I know, the whole cardiac team at Ascension St. Vincent is so skilled.
They can do it all, even the most complex heart surgeries.
How about we leave it to the professionals?
I like that.
Get expert care for hearts big and small at Ascension St. Vincent.
That doesn't go there.
We'll fix you, pal.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Payne and Mencius Palladium. My name's Jeff McDermott, and I'm very proud and privileged to serve as the president and the CEO right here at the Allied Solutions Center for the Performing Arts. And for the Great American Songbook Foundation, I want to thank all of you for joining us here today for this annual State of the City address. I hope that you just enjoyed that wonderful performance by members of the Indiana Ballet Conservatory. How about you join me in thanking them for that? They are truly a wonderful arts organization, and we're very proud that they're one of the many arts organizations who regularly perform here on our campus. We're truly grateful to them for sharing their great talent with us here today. You know, Carmel is certainly known for embracing the arts in all forms. In fact, Carmel is now, I think, widely considered to be a true arts destination. And just to give you an example of what I mean by that, please enjoy this short video, which will provide a brief overview of just how far this community's commitment to the arts extends. Believe it or not, it was 15 years ago today that our very first performance took place in this hall, on this stage, during an afternoon performance that was billed as First Notes. A duo rendition of Hoagy Carmichael's Stardust was performed by then Mayor Jim Brainerd playing his French horn, and he was accompanied on the piano by our artistic director and the founder of the Great American Songbook Foundation, Mr. Michael Feinstein. It was a brief rendition of just that one song, but it set the stage for what has now been 15 years of memorable performances and impactful educational programs. During these first 15 years, our staff, our performances, our educational programming, and our outreach has grown exponentially. I want to share with you a recent study by the Indiana Business Research Center out of Indiana University that reported that this campus alone generates nearly $23 million per year in economic impact to Carmel. Support of the arts is certainly a cultural driver that has earned national recognition for our community, but I think that we have also shown that it has clearly become an economic impactor as well. While we take great pride in our campus as the home for the performing arts, occasions like this also enable us to really fulfill a more fundamental role as a gathering place for our community. Over the years, we have proudly served as the venue and host for school board debates, mayoral debates, gubernatorial debates, naturalization ceremonies, public meetings, and of course, State of the City addresses. We take very seriously our responsibility to this community, and it's always a pleasure to see this great level of interest in civic affairs. This event, of course, is presented each year by One Zone Chamber of Commerce, and as a longtime resident of Carmel, I'd like to thank them in particular for their contribution to this city and for selecting our venue once again to host this event. So with that, I would like you to please now join me in welcoming to the stage the President and CEO of One Zone and my friend, Mr. Jack Russell.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Carmel State of the City presented by Ascension St. Vincent. My name is Jack Russell, proud to serve as the president of One Zone. And today, we're excited to have discussions around this beautiful city, discussion around progress and the plans for the future, where we're at today, and acknowledging our past. And it is my honor, you can't have a State of the City without a mayor, so it is my honor to welcome our mayor of the beautiful city of Carmel, Mayor Sue Finkam. Hi, Mayor.
Here we are.
It's just like our podcast. Just a few hundred friends, couple hundred
Exactly.
friends, right?
Exactly, and we're dressed
Yes.
a little nicer.
Oh,
probably
we are definitely
too.
dressed a little nicer, for sure. Well, thank you so much, Mayor, and again, thank you so much for being a part of our State of the City as we are here in the beautiful Palladium. But to get us started, Mayor, I want to talk a little bit and get right into it, and really around the core, really around the core principles that are guiding the city of Carmel to get us started here today.
Before we even do that, I
Yeah.
want to back up and say thank you to you and your
Thank
team,
you.
because this doesn't happen without a ton of work by your small but mighty team, and so thank you. And I also want to thank Jeff McDermott, who you heard from earlier, and their entire team. They put on first class, as you heard, tons of different events here each and every month, and it's just phenomenal. I also want to recognize our city council. I don't know where they're sitting. There they are. If you want to stand up, ladies and gentlemen, please give them a round of applause. They work hard all year long on ordinances, on financial projections, and the like, and we're appreciative of you. And then also, I want to thank our city team, all the employees who work so hard each and every day. If you're a member of our city team, a board, a commission, or a committee, please stand as well. Thank you all so very much. All right, Jack, you want to get back to the facts now?
Yes, I love it. Those core principles, Mayor, I know you and I have had discussions about them, and that's really going to be the driver of our conversation today. And so let's talk a little bit about those core principles.
Well, we talked about these last year briefly, but inspiring livability is really important to our whole community, and it came through in all the research that we've done, is making sure this is a fantastic place to live, to work, to play, to celebrate, to create. So inspiring livability is a great percentage of what we spend our time on each and every day. And of course, always innovating for impact. And that's become more important. We'll talk a little bit about some of our challenges this year. Innovation is going to become at the forefront of how we try to look at service delivery each and every day. And then also investing in people. How we take care of our city staff, how we take care of the people in our community is important to any organization, and the city, of course, as well.
So, Mayor, before we dive into the pillars, it's been a fun year when it comes to awards. And so before we get into the pillars, I want to talk about, we know that this is an award-winning city, but over the course of the past year, people have seen that this is also outside looking in an award-winning city. And so what is that like for you, and what are some of the accomplishments when we look at the awards? What are some of those accomplishments you're proud of?
Well, first of all, these happen because of the people in our community, both our city staff as well as everyone who lives and works here, because there's so many contributions that are delivered by people who really care about our community. So first of all, the one that probably means the most nationally is a ranking by the U.S. News and World Report. It says #2 best place to live in the U.S. We're up against everybody in this one, guys. This isn't like small cities, big cities. This is #2 best place to live in the country. And this is the one where people Google, where's the best place to live? Because now I get to live anywhere because of my remote job, or I get to live anywhere because now I'm retiring. And this is a big one. And so we're really honored and pleased. And the other one that came out here just about a month ago is the #1 best small city in America by Wallet Hub. And I also want to put to bed a rumor that we pay to play, that we pay for these recognitions. None of these, zero, are paid for. None of these are voted on. These all use data to make decisions. And that's, I think, what's really fantastic, is that it's all the great work, it's all the investment by our businesses, it's all the investment by the city. It's the work that our city team members and the community does to keep it safe, clean, and beautiful, as our survey said, is important to our residents. And so this is what comes through and shines. And we're, many more than these, just these two, but those are probably the two that shine the brightest light.
Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely, absolutely. In addition to that, Mayor, when we talk about from even a global scale, let's talk about sister cities and some of the exciting things that have happened this year as well.
Yeah, so Mayor Brainerd had started Sister Cities way long time ago. I'm not even sure exactly when. We've had a partnership with Japan, though, for 32 years, which is incredible. And over time, we've now come to have 6 sister city relationships. And we were awarded with the 2025 Sister Cities International Best Overall Program for cities with 100,001 employees or residents to 300,000 residents. That's incredible, and that's because of the work of, again, volunteers all throughout our community from our sister cities and others making it special. So I'd like to give a warm applause to Andres Bergens, who's our sister city consultant, and all the sister city representatives that are here today. When we got this award, we had to go to Fort Worth to get it, which is a quick in and out. It was super cool to be with all these cities who are truly interested in establishing global relationships and connecting students and artists and businesses and all that accompanies all of that. And the one thing they said that made ours stand out more than everybody else was our very packed calendar throughout the year. So again, that's thanks to all those people who work hard on their off time to try to bring a dance or a performance or a special cooking class or a student exchange. It happens almost magically by lots of hard work, and it was just really cool to be recognized for that.
Well, I believe we might even have a video here, Mayor,
Probably do.
From the other mayors.
Hello, Kame. I'm Shuhei Nishino, Mayor of Kawachi Nagano, Japan. For over 30 years, our sister city friendship has grown strong, and I look forward to many more years together. Thank you so much.
Un ringraziamento al sindaco di Carmel, Sue Finkham, e a tutta la città per i rapporti istituzionali che si stanno intrattenendo tra la città di Cortona e Carmel.
Wir freuen uns über die lebendige Partnerschaft und ich darf Ihnen bereits jetzt, schon im Vorgriff auf Weihnachten, eine besinnliche Zeit wünschen, viel Erfolg mit Ihrem Weihnachtsmarkt und wir freuen uns, wenn wir vielleicht auch wieder mal persönlich in Austausch treten können. Alles Gute für Sie und Glück auf!
Hi, I'm Martin Ždejs, the mayor of Jelgava City in Latvia. On behalf of our people, I send my warmest greetings to our sister city Carmel and Mayor Sue Finkam.
Well, the good news, Mayor, I now know how to say your name in a couple different languages, so that's good. Those are wonderful videos, and I've had a chance. You and I, obviously, you've been able to meet a lot of the folks that have shared those stories, and congratulations. You and I had a great conversation with the group from Japan as well, so it was super fun to be able to have those videos. So.
Tell everybody what it was like sitting at the lunch table, talking with our friends from Japan.
Well, so with our friends with Japan, first and foremost, the lunch that the mayor's team blocked out was for like 3.5 hours. And at first I thought, wow, why are we having lunch for 3.5 hours? That seems like a long time. But then you learn what I thought was so powerful, and you and I have talked about this on the podcast, is you begin to look at the other side of the table and you have to learn how to communicate. One, speaking English, speaking Japanese, and being able to go back and forth with an interpreter. And so that lunch was one of the most powerful lunches that I've been able to experience, because you're being able to share your stories and them share their stories in different languages, but together you're working for the same common good. And I think that was what was fun about that lunch. So.
Yeah, no one wants to make a mistake and say
Yes.
somebody's name wrong or use the wrong mannerism or something that causes any kind of offense. So they're high pressure.
They were. Well, Mayor, when we talk about the award, we talk about culture around the globe. One of the key pillars that you've been able to put in this year, especially this year, is around cultural festivals. And so let's talk about those and how that's a driving factor in your administration.
Well, festivals are really important in Carmel. Our residents love them. They like meeting people from outside the city as well as their neighbors, like Porch Fest, where people bring their beverages and chairs and sit and enjoy live music, or whether it be our International Arts Festival, which is phenomenal, bringing thousands of people every year with incredible artists that have been juried. So we added 3 new ones this year. We added, first of all, the Cherry Blossom Festival, and that was to welcome our Japanese delegation. And we signed a couple documents there for cultural exchange and got to spend some time with people from the community. They visited our school system. They were blown away by 1.5 million square feet high school, square feet under one roof high school. So it was great to have them here. We also did Eid Fest with our Muslim community. I learned a ton. They did a great job setting that up, so you can learn about each country, their attire, some of their traditions, and also Dia de la Familia, Day of the Family for Hispanic Heritage Month was in September. That one got, as well as the Cherry Blossom Festival, got a little bit delayed because of rain, but fantastic additions to our festival lineup. And the important things about these 3 this year, they were driven by the communities. And so it wasn't the city deciding we were going to put this on. It was truly the community members coming together, determining what was authentic, what was important, and then we were there to support them. And of course, we had 2 other ones. The Indiana Jewish Festival was new this year. That was put on again entirely by the community, and that was on Civic Square. And of course, the 2nd year of the Diwali Festival. And it had thousands of people come again this year. We had to reschedule that, thanks to a lot of hard work by the committee members who were just first class to work with, and then of course all of our city employees. We were able to push that back 5 days and still have that at Carter Green right out here, using the Chris Kunamart huts that you set up here, set up out here. So what I love about these is, and we've talked about this as well, usually the first year with these festivals, members of the community make up the majority of who come out. But then what we hope to see is that how we define community is broadened, and people who attend these events who may have not have had an opportunity to interact with city officials or others in the community as much get more comfortable. And then hopefully we're setting ourselves up for more volunteerism, opportunity to serve on boards, commissions, and committees, opportunity to maybe run for office someday here in Carmel. So we hope that this broadens the understanding and appreciation of Carmel as a city and as a community that cares about its neighbors.
I love that. And you know, before we continue to go on, we still have more awards.
Yes.
Yes, we have more awards to talk about. Now, and I promise the whole show is not awards, but you have a couple more awards that especially around development, that we should all be proud of here in the city of Carmel as well. Yes,
Routinely, our development over time, thanks to the hard work of architects and constructors and the like, have received awards. And just recently here in October, our first on Main, which you know is by the Rotary Clock, was honored with the Indy Chamber's Monumental Award for Achievement in Real Estate Development. And you know that's a phenomenal development in that it's Class A office space, which we desperately needed and was pre-leased long before construction was done. It's got apartments, it's got condos, it's got, of course, Matador is a restaurant there in the corner, public places and plazas, and it was recognized. So we're just really proud of that. That was a long, hard project to build right where shovels went in 1837 to mark where Carmel began. So it was important for our city to recognize that. It was also important for our city to get that right. There's a lot of utilities underground, hard to build, took a little longer to do than the average place where there's just a big cornfield. Perhaps it's converted to development. So we're really proud of that.
Well, when we talk about the buildings, those are powerful things that have made Carmel Carmel. But one of the things that I've always appreciated about you is it's also the people. And so let's talk a little bit about the Just Serve City Award as well.
Yes, we learned about the Just Serve City Award from one of our city councilors, Dr. Anita Joshi. And this is compiled by the Church of Latter-day Saints as an effort to get more people volunteering across the country, not for their cause or mission, in anything, any nonprofit, any governmental entity, civic endeavor. And so we're the first ones in Indy to jump in Indiana, I should say, to jump on board with this. And we're really looking for the opportunity for it to put our volunteer program and platform on steroids. And we have not yet really kind of dug into it yet. There's been a lot going on this year with some of the financial stuff we've been dealing with that we'll talk about later. But we're looking forward to getting more people involved, because once people get on this platform, perhaps volunteer for Diwali, then they are also in the system. They'll see other opportunities if they choose to maybe help with one of these other festivals we talked about, or a nonprofit like the Carmel Education Foundation, or the many other nonprofits that serve our community. So it's really exciting.
I love it. Okay, so let's switch gears now, and we're going to talk about, Mayor, it looks like you have a visitor.
Well, hi. Everybody, welcome Lieutenant Malloy and Macy.
I was going to say, special delivery.
Well, this is congratulations. Carmel's been awarded the Better Cities for Pets City certification from Mars Pet Care, one of only 3 in the state of Indiana. So that's brand new, and you're first to hear about that tonight, thanks to Macy.
Thanks, Macy. That's fun even if you're a cat person or a dog person, so that works.
Can we just keep her out here?
Yeah, she could just stay right there. That'd be perfect.
She's too cute. Macy, by the way, is our therapy dog. And our therapy dogs helps our officers and our police department, and I think she's also around for those of us in City Hall from time to time as well. And you can see how she just brightens your day. And Lieutenant Malloy is her handler, but also a fantastic member of our police department that helps handle mental health issues, and we're so appreciative of both of them being here tonight as well.
I love that. If only somebody could deliver mail like that, anywhere, anytime, I would appreciate it.
St. Bernard's?
Yeah, St. Bernard's. We have a Bernice, so all that fun stuff. All right, so the shelves at City Hall, we've talked about those. They are full of awards. They have those things. But 2025 also presented challenges, and so let's dive in a little bit to those challenges now and really talk about and deep dive into those things that we have really combated over this year as well.
Well, first and foremost was our F1 tornado that hit our community April 2nd. And obviously that's something that our community hadn't had, at least that anyone can remember, had to deal with weather like that. And so for all of you who chipped in and helped a neighbor, or who helped keep your road open, who helped give water to our street department, our police department, our fire department, our building inspectors, and all the people who are out trying to help. And the other agencies that came to help our community, thank you. This is what Carmel's all about. I think the only people upset were the Carmel students, because they actually had to go to school the next day. You know, they like can't even get out of school for a tornado. But the street department and again neighborhoods did such an amazing job cleaning up debris. We're thankful, first and foremost, that there was no loss of life. I think we had one laceration, I can't say that. And that was the extent of the injuries that our residents, our city staff had to endure. Unlike other communities in Indiana in past years who've had much more significant loss of property and life. But we're very grateful for that. And again, I'm super grateful for our team's recognition and response.
Well, in addition to that, you know, one of the things that you and I have talked about and you've talked about is other external factors that can make an impact on Carmel. You know, we are the drivers of our ship, but we know that sometimes there can be obstacles in the way, and we saw that this year with SEA 1. And so let's dive in a little bit about that and what impact does that have?
Well, January 1 started out with a bang.
Yes.
by an introduction of a bill by the governor. It was House Bill 1 at that time. Well, actually it was Senate Bill 1 at that time. And that would have cut Carmel's funding by $24 million this next year, then 27, then 31. Those are significant cuts. And so, you know, we had done a lot of legwork in the last quarter of 2024, introducing ourselves to legislators. Some are new, some didn't know Carmel very well. I was obviously new as mayor. And so I think that paid off because we were able to get in a lot of ears about how this would have negatively impacted Carmel, our public safety, our arts, our parks, and everything that we do. Obviously, we've said for many months now that we would not cut back on public safety. But something that cut as deep as 24, 27, and 31 million, there would have been some things affected, and that was just a challenge for us. It went through 2 iterations, and finally getting passed by the state legislature. Now it's called Senate Enrolled Act 1, or SEA 1. As a taxpayer, I'm super appreciative of the work the state legislature did. We will all save thousands of dollars in taxes. It's beyond the $300 that you read about earlier. That's just one part of the tax cut. We had, I think, the average home in Carmel at the average income in Carmel would save, you know, $1,700 to $2,700 a year by 2030, I believe it was, off the top of my head. Those are significant numbers for taxpayers. As an executive, however, working for the city of Carmel, who needs to provide services, and our residents expect, and businesses expect, a high service delivery here, and they should. That's a little more challenging because this year is hard, coming up with 26 budget, 27, 28 will be much harder. And that's our concern. So we would go back to the State House. I think I've met with 13 state legislators now in the last 8 weeks, and we continue those conversations. There will be some adjustments, we hope, at the State House, either in December when they come back for session or in January when they go back after the holiday break. And so we hope to maybe make some changes that impact Carmel positively. And either way, the city council and myself and our city leadership will have lots of conversations for the next 2 years because we will still have to figure out how to innovate, how to deliver our services at a high level at a lower cost of doing business.
Well, I want to thank you, the city council, and the city staff for all your work this past year and going into 2026. I know that was a lot of time, a lot of energy for everybody, but it's good to see that we're in the right spot, right place to move us forward. So thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mayor, those pillars.
Yeah.
Let's talk about those pillars again. So I want to dive into the first pillar, inspiring livability. What does that mean for Carmel families?
It's really how they fall in love with their city.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I describe it. It's about how they engage with their neighbors, they engage with the city, they engage with the street, the sidewalk, everything around them, the parks. It's really what creates that magnetism for where they want to live, where they want to work, and where they want to fulfill their dreams. So thankfully, we've got a strong infrastructure that supports that. And that's been decades of investment by previous councils, previous mayors, and it continues with me and our city council now. We had $100 million bond last year. All of it is going into infrastructure elements. Some of those are infrastructure for public safety. Many of those are road and street improvements and parks, and we're really proud of that. But we did a little bit of a video just to show people what livability looks like in our community.
I love that. And as that video represented, it's really not the park hardscapes, it's not the roads, it's not the streets, it's about the memories. It's the memories we create with our loved ones, our friends and neighbors, our coworkers, and so that's what separates Carmel from other communities. It's the memories. I love that. In addition to that, Mayor, let's talk about, there's some exciting stuff going on in our Parks Department. We're going to dive into that, but there were some exciting new additions to our Monon Center, so let's talk a little bit about that.
Yes, Executive Director of the Park System, Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation, Michael Klitzing, presented this at a recent City Council meeting, and it's really this new Monon Station indoor playground and Lucky Climber. I wish I had that. I had the spinny thing that burned your hands because it was so hot with metal when I grew up. But these are incredible, incredible additions to our park system. It's inclusive for kids of all ages, and it reflects our community values. Creative, inclusive, and built for all.
Well, in addition to that, for any of you that attended that ribbon cutting, Michael actually, and I'm glad we have a visual evidence, Michael actually went up in that and then down the slide. So I give him, not only is he an amazing parks director, but I was impressed. He got up there.
Flexibility.
I was impressed with that. So I love that. Well, Mayor, what about some other enhancements this year when we talk about this first pillar on livability? What are some of those other key areas that you focus in on?
Well, again, continuing with the parks, we just were able to cut the ribbon, if you will, on the Burr Oak Bridge that crosses the White River. I grew up on a river. We had access to it all the time, and it's been such a challenge here in Carmel because the river's really been in areas that aren't very accessible. And this is one way to make it more accessible. And this is an incredible path that will connect Zionsville all the way to Fishers along 106th Street corridor. And we'll continue to make, as the city of Carmel, we'll continue to make enhancements to paths and that network along there. But it's a beautiful addition to our community. It was named in collaboration with Native tribes. And again, I give deep credit to the designers and the park system because they are sensitive to that and had those conversations early on. And this was the Burr Oak Bridge, because of the oaks that are right by this bridge, was what was decided to be named. It was an $11 million project, and this is super important because it came with regional collaboration. 2 townships, the City of Fishers, Carmel Clay Parks Department, all collaborated to make this happen. It's beautiful. And it's part of the Hamilton County Tourism Hub.
Yes.
And they have now created an incredible marketing campaign highlighting the 600 miles of trails and paths that make up Hamilton County. And as someone said, it seems like every day, every week, there's another trail announcement or pathway announcement in one of our main cities. With the Monon extension all the way going north now, it's just incredible to have this opportunity right here.
Yeah. Well, not only that, the engineers that built that bridge, they had a big test on the ribbon cutting because it felt like there were 1,000 people standing on that bridge cutting a ribbon. So kudos to the engineers because You're going, oh my gosh, look at all these people. Well, okay, so we're talking about the bridge. We talk about the White River as a whole. That is such an amazing asset that we have in our own backyard, and there's so much potential to it. And so it's exciting to see that Carmel is looking at this and figuring out how do we best utilize this great asset. So talk a little bit more, Mayor, about the progress we've made on the White River.
Well, the White River Trail System Parkway continues to be a priority. And for years, people have talked about how do we access that. Recently, meaning like 3 years ago, we got a READY grant, which is regional collaboration, looking at the entire White River from way up north to down through Indianapolis. We received a $4 million grant to help build an extension of that path. It stopped right about the tunnel of trees on River Road, and now it goes north all the way to 146th Street. A couple more little things have to be put in on little bridges before people can access that, but it's oh so close. It will also include a new trailhead right by Prairie Trace Elementary that will absolutely be your next senior photo, family, photo spot, because it's a
Headshots,
beautiful, it's a beautiful architecture which gets you right to the edge of the river. And there's a lot of wildlife in that area, so it's beautiful. I was walking through the area yesterday, and it's very, very close, and I think everyone will be really excited. And it's funny because I've talked over this weekend, going out and about, I talked to a couple of people who said, I've never been further than Keystone East, because so much happens in our corridor, and if you live the west side, you may not have an opportunity to come all the way east, and I highly encourage people to go check it out. As soon as this whole trailhead opens, and get a little walk up to 146th Street and back.
Well, and it's Indiana weather, so today it's snowing, and then a couple days from now it'll be 67 and sunny, and so just pick a day.
I'll take you up in the 67.
Yeah, just pick a day and it'll be fine. Mayor, let's also talk about Founders Park as well. I think that's been a huge
Yeah, we decided to continue on with the park theme here because Founders Park has been a beloved park for many, many years. It's recently gotten a little bit of an upgrade for safety surfaces and moving some sand, and then also it'll get a tremendous upgrade with some floating walkways across the water there. It's 37 acres of space. It's got outdoor sports fields, and again, it's a beautiful place to walk. So super excited to see that here soon.
Well, we truly do have the best parks department there is, gold standard. I'm so proud of what we've been able to invest and what our city has been able to invest in the parks.
Then we're going to keep it that way.
Yes, I love it. I love it. So, Mayor, what other exciting developments are on the horizon as we talk about community spaces and those enhancements when we talk about the insights?
Well, we talked a little bit earlier this year about the Veterans Park that's connected to a new project at Old Meridian in Maine, the southeast corner, kind of right off of the southeast corner anyway. It's now called the Heron Club at Carmel. We referred to it earlier as Signature 55. It's a public-private partnership, and it also showed true collaboration between Carmel Clay Parks and Rec, Carmel Redevelopment Corporation, the City Council, the VFW, the Mayor's Commission on Veterans and Military Families, and many other people who had input there. So this would be a great space, a public space behind that big building. And, it's not designed yet. We have some concept renderings, but it'll be a beautiful space. I love that. And before we go further, do we have any Marines out in the audience at all? Anyone? Just give me a good clap. No one? Today's the Marines' 250th birthday. It's a big day for our Marines, and we can't go by without recognizing that. And if you're a Marine and you just didn't want to clap, happy birthday.
I love that. Well, Mayor, it wouldn't be a state of the city if we didn't talk about art.
Yes.
So, Carmel's obviously has become known for its unique collection of public art. And so let's dive into some of the recent installations as well.
We've had two beautiful ones come in, and they're a different scale, and that's what I love about this community. First and foremost, we had Taking Flight by Jason Klimoski, and he is an international designer. And if you ever want to look up Bruges and look up Bruges whale art sculpture or some combination of those words, he took 50 tons of trash from the ocean and created a whale jumping out of the water. It's incredible. It's the same artist who did this beautiful sculpture, which is just perfect outside of our library. We got so much feedback on this, and we hope to have him back here in the community again to celebrate him a little bit more. And then also we had Butterflies on the Monon, done by Nancy Keating, a local mosaic artist, and she is so talented, and I hope to engage her in a project next year, which we'll mention briefly. This wouldn't have been possible without J.C. Hart lending the side of their building. MyBor, our local realtors network, gave us a grant as well. Our CRC put a lot of work into it, and also Allied Solutions as well. So we are ever appreciative for companies and individuals who make things like this happen and beautify our community. It's such a nice surprise coming on the Mona to see the butterflies on the side of the building there, and it's a great photo spot. So again, if you want to take a quick photo, it's just south of Midtown Plaza on the east side of sitting on the west side of the apartment building on the east side of the Mona.
Well, especially trying to find art around town. Public art story map. Let's talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, we're super excited about this, and hats off to the CRC and members of our GIS team and also our Mayor's Advisory Commission on the Arts for putting this public art story map together. If you have friends or family or business associates who come in and want to walk our art, we made a mile loop so it's quick and easy, but also every piece of art that you can find is on this art map. It can be in the palm of your hand. So we're really proud of that. I think a lot of our sculpture was hidden because we didn't necessarily tell everybody where that could be found. So now we have people coming in for festivals, events, can do a quick walk around.
I love that. And this one as well, there's another one up here, a little sneak peek.
Yes, we're super excited about this next one. This will be at the roundabout next to the high school, and it's called Channels of Connection. And what you're gonna see here, artist Casto Solano out of Spain. This will be at the Main in Lexington, if you're curious about which roundabout that'll be, right in the other corner of the high school. We reached out to Jen Bupp at the Carmel High School and asked her to engage art students. And they put into writing, and the artist was on Zoom calls and through email. They put in writing what they wanted to see, things like greyhounds. And now remember, this sculpture had already been unveiled as far as a big head with hair. And they said they wanted to see greyhounds and water and swimming and poetry and lots of other things. And together, they put something special together where all those things are incorporated into the hair aspect of this structure. And so it'll be sculpture. It'll be super cool as these kids can come back either from college or if they're still at high school and know that for decades, their work is going to be in this sculpture by the high school that they graduated from. And that I think that's super meaningful. So I think you guys will all be really pleasantly surprised to see this sculpture unveiled and see how the kids were able to put their stamp on it.
Well, I love that. It's one of a kind. It's so unique to be adding to our public art. So thank you for that. I love that. In addition, I know this is a passion of yours, and that's why I'm excited to talk about this next, which is we made headlines this year, not that we don't make headlines all the time, but by hosting a major international event at our Carmel High School natatorium. And so let's talk a little bit about some swimming.
Well, first off, let's just repeat that again. Carmel High School hosted an international swimming event. We're one of only 3 places I learned that has 2 50-meter competition pools, one Indianapolis and the other one in North Carolina. But Carmel, again, High School has the facilities available to host these incredible world-class athletes. And so World Aquatics is the group that put this event on. It was a 3-part competition called the World Swimming Cup, also in Illinois and in Toronto with the other 2 legs of this. They do it annually. And it was a great way to shake down the pool, for sure. Yeah. Built to be a fast pool, by the way, the depth and other things that I don't understand because I'm not a swimmer. But it's an incredible opportunity to show off Carmel as a community. We had 500 competitors, nearly half from overseas somewhere. We had, or I should say internationally, could have been Canada, Mexico as well. We had about 9,000 attendees, lots and lots of hotel rooms sold. It was fun to hear from our restaurateurs and our bar owners about hearing people with different accents and different ways of speaking here, talking about swimming or wearing their gear. But it was really, really neat. And Skillman Corporation, hats off to them for building an incredible pool within the Carmel High School. Carmel High School and World Aquatics put on a heck of an event. And I think Carmel showed off really, really well. Because I think we're going to get an opportunity to have other sports, maybe water polo or some other things that they put on. Because there's many other sports other than swimming that they do. But it was easy to get around. We threw a concert. Thank you to the folks at Carmel Porch Fest who put on an extra late night of Maine just for them, closer to the high school. But we showed off and showed up, and the organizers were just super pleased. And we set a world record in Carmel at that pool. So that'll be adorned on the wall once they figure out where to put it, along with all the other records. Because you know the girls are going for their 40th straight state championship in February. And the boys are going for their 12th, I believe it is. So between the two, just incredible talent there. The swim club's amazing. And Maggie Mestrich with the swim club, Chris Plum did, again, a ton of work to bring this to fruition, as well as set 600 kids up for success in swimming moving forward.
Well, as we kind of continue our conversation, veterans, we just talked about veterans and athletes, and so it wouldn't be a Carmel thing if it wasn't, how do we take this passion for veterans, passion for athletes, and how do we put that into our own development?
Pull them together.
Yeah, so how is that, Mayor?
So right off of Veterans Way will be this new road, and Steve Simpson, who you might have met before, we had Sky Simpson highlighted. We did a little contest in the community on social media just about what can you name this new road, and we've decided to call it Olympian Way. And so we are still working out the details. Chief among them are trademarking. We want to make sure we don't get in trouble with anybody, but the concept is solid, and Jack's got a couple examples that adorned in the roadway will be examples of the medals that Alex or Drew Kibler or Rajiv Ram have won representing Carmel. And then, of course, Sky Simpson, who's a weightlifting champion, we'll have all these and hopefully get to add to those over time. And so we're excited about that. It'll be something fun. We'll have a recognition for the others who also competed, perhaps didn't medal, and a seating area off that connects Monon Boulevard to Veterans Plaza, or Veterans Way, excuse me.
I love that. Well, you've seen it here first, so that's
right,
better than that.
Oh, and I do want to recognize, too, Rajiv Ram, incredible athlete, incredible philanthropist, also was recognized by Carmel High School with Rajiv Ram Court. And he was incredible enough to be able to be there that day, and he's just a first-class representative of the city of Carmel.
Awesome. Well, Mayor, we talk about roundabouts, we talk about infrastructure, but in addition to that, obviously we're moving a lot of people from point A to point B, and so let's talk about safety when it comes to those infrastructures as well as we continue to build great and beautiful things here in the city of Carmel.
Yes, our city swells each day because of the amount of people that come in for work. And we'll continue to do so with US 31, with Westfield and Noblesville building out. So Keystone, our side roads, US 31 are really, really important, as is Michigan Road out west. But we have completed a lot of major transportation upgrades. We talked about the $100 million bond, which has a lot of livability elements in it as well. But we did secure some grant funding, which is always important to get our tax dollars back in our community to put to work for you. We had a $1.2 million state community crossings grant, $980,000 in federal highway safety improvement program funds, and some of the key key project upgrades with those dollars is Main Street west of Guilford will be upgraded here very shortly, and then key pedestrian crosswalks on Rangeline Road and Hazeldale Parkway as well.
Well, I know that next is kind of really around diving in a little bit deeper into, you know, some of those that have been completed and what does that look like, you know, as they can see here.
Yeah, thanks for all your patience, right?
Yeah.
Construction is progress, even though it might be annoying when you're trying to get from point A to point B quickly and you're slowed down because now the traffic pattern has changed. But we were able to have 4 new roundabouts, 96 in College, Carmel Gateway Drive, which is right there by Parkwood, just north of 96 in College. Of course, Pennsylvania Liberty Fund, that one, and then 3rd Street and Walnut. We have since added raised crosswalks to a couple of those as well, and that's important for us. You know, that ranking we got by Wallet Hub, if you dig into the data that they use, one of the things I found super interesting was we had the 3rd lowest pedestrian fatality rate in the country, and we want to keep it that way. And so these raised crosswalks, while they may be, again, slightly frustrating occasionally to drive over, they make our riders and our walkers and our runners much more visible. They slow us down, which makes surviving, if you were to get hit, much more likely. And they also help beautify the community because of the landscaping that goes in and around them. So we're proud of that pedestrian fatality ranking. We would like it to be 0 and keep it at 0 for many years. And so we keep investing there. The City Council approved raised crosswalks all across the community, especially along Town Road. and also improvements to our school crossings to make them more visible, to make sure our kids are safe each and every day.
I don't know how you all are, but there's a lot of times where I sit at a red light and I say, gosh, I wish this was a roundabout. So I appreciate that we've continued to add more of those.
Maybe somewhere just east of us.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go move on. So sounds like, so when we talk about safety, that is key. And so, you know, let's continue to expand on that safety and talk about some paths that really have helped us link and grow and connect as well.
Yes, we have, I think, had 3 or 4 different bonds that have added money to connect our path network. Because it doesn't help if you're biking along and there's a mile gap and then you can pick it up later. It doesn't help you get from point A to point B. You usually have to cross the road to do that. So again, the City Council invested in more path connections. 116th Street path completed earlier this year by West Park and University High School is super important. Our 141st Street path is currently under construction and 136th Street is scheduled next. In addition, we also did an infrastructure around 131st Street on the west side with a culvert, and our county helped, and it's so close, you guys, getting that bridge back in 126th Street on the east side. That'll be a safer bridge, a more beautiful bridge, and easier to access. So it'll be wonderful once it's done, and it's so close.
I do appreciate the communication on it because it's on my news feed all the time, so I appreciate that. Well, so a lot of times I'm sure you and your team get emails or messages when it comes to, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much. But you actually do have some appreciation from residents, and I know that you have a story that you kind of want to share when it comes to this appreciation.
We get a lot of feedback, as you might imagine, some positive, some neutral, some negative. But every once in a while, there's one that stands out. And this we got from a new resident, Kelly Nagy. And she talked about how biking with her special needs son and daughters, in quote, brings so much joy. And that this allows her to spend more time with her family. And she called Midtown biking a dream come true, and that the Monon Trail is spectacular. I love how we had fresh eyes giving us that feedback, and also how it made a difference in someone's life. Again, how she's able to spend time with her family and create those memories that we talked about earlier. She also knows that Carmel feels like Europe and how bikes and pedestrians are elevated, and this makes Carmel uniquely livable, vibrant, and people-centered. This wasn't a brochure we had an ad agency write. This is Kelly's own words. So Kelly and her family are here today. Kelly, where are you at? There she is. Thank you for your feedback.
I love that.
Thank you. It's for the Kellys and the Nagy family that all of us do what we do at the city, is to make sure that this place is special and stays that way.
Yeah, I love that. And I think we think about it when you talk about putting it, when we talk about the bond of, we're going to build this infrastructure, we're going to build this infrastructure. The infrastructure, as you and I talk about this a lot, is, the buildings have people in it, the culture of people, that even all the way down to our trails, we're finding unique ways to get people connected to our beautiful city. And I think that's so much fun to be able to read that and hear that story. So I love that.
And we also get ideas from our public. So if you have ideas and ways to keep our community being special, ways to enhance our infrastructure, please bring them to us, because I know our city council and myself all want to hear that.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mayor, I know everyone was here to talk about infrastructure, and they were super excited to talk about roads and bridges, but we have some other things too. Let's talk about community spirit and some other examples of people showing up to do great things in our community. I know one of the things that I just absolutely love our conversations that you and I have is not only just, like I said earlier, not only just about the beautiful buildings, but the amazing people that are doing amazing things to support one another.
Each and every day we hear a story of a neighbor helping a neighbor. Mm-hmm. And we're going to do some things in 2026 to encourage more of that. Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about one particular story here in Carmel that I think touched everybody who knew about it. And so it's my job today to tell you, those of you who weren't made aware about it. This is the story of Lori Graves. Lori was a mom living here in Carmel with her family who was struggling with terminal cancer and who loved Christmas. And so I think it first came to my attention because her husband had put a post out on Facebook saying to her neighbors, hey, If you see our Christmas lights up a little earlier than normal this year, please understand Lori loves Christmas, and we just want to make sure she can see it and appreciate it and enjoy it. And through the kindness of everyone's heart in that neighborhood, they basically threw a little bit of a Christmas party in the middle of August. Our own John Moriarty, who, if you know Captain Moriarty, is incredible, brought the fire truck, decorated in the Christmas lights, and just had a great recognition for Lori, her fight for life, and what community spirit can really do. And I love this quote from Lori. Just because I was having something negative going on in my life doesn't necessarily mean that everything attached to it has to be negative. So she recognized the beauty of community, the beauty of her neighbors, and everything else, and we just really appreciate that. Lori unfortunately lost her battle with cancer, but I want to make sure her family who's here tonight, is this the Graves family, sir? We just want to honor you and your family, recognize Lori, her beautiful spirit, and know that we are still here to support you and your family.
That's beautiful.
And thank you for the beautiful ornament, Christmas for Lori, that I got right before the show. It's meaningful, and I will keep it forever.
I love that. Let's give him another round of applause. That's beautiful. Mayor, you and I talk about this as we continue to have our conversation about, building beautiful places, having the ability to build placemaking and quality of life and putting people together and sharing their stories and sharing ideas. And so as we kind of transition to talk a little bit about infrastructure, or not infrastructure, but development, let's talk a little bit about the powerful things you look at our central core as an example of beautiful buildings, but also a beautiful place to make connections, opportunities, bring your family, those type of things. So how are we continuing to grow that central core, and what does that look like as we continue to see development happening in our central core, especially on a long-range line?
First of all, our central core is maxed out. For those of you who think we have empty apartments, we do not. They're full, completely full. We have 2% office vacancy, which is full.
Yep.
That means someone's probably moving in or coming and going, and that's the only reason there's a little bit of space left. Our Monon is beautiful and exactly what offices look for these days, as well as residents. They want a vibrant, mixed-use environment where they can maybe go to work and also then go grab a breakfast and maybe see a live show nearby. So on the northwest corner of Rangeline Road and City Center Drive, we have the Monon Square North, and it's an exciting project. You see all that project going vertical now. It won't be ready for a couple years. It's a big, massive project, and we're so excited to see that. It's going to have apartments, condos, 11 condos called the 11, and just really 21,000 square feet of office and retail. They've got some exciting announcements coming soon about restaurants and offices in there. Yes. And of course, Solano One will be moving their headquarters and facility over there and expanding their offerings right on the Monon. It's just going to be a beautiful space, and we're oh so appreciative of that investment.
Yeah. We cannot get enough restaurants. I love it. I mean, the amount of different places you can go in the Central Core is just unbelievable.
Our Food and Beverage Fund thanks you.
Yeah,
for that.
Yes, thank you all. So afterwards, if you would make your way to the Central Core, we'd appreciate it. Mayor, in addition to that, there's even more projects underway. So let's dive a little bit more into some of the other projects that are going on.
Yeah, right by City Hall is the Civic Square condos. If anyone's looking for a condo that's a one-story condo, they're selling fast. They might be close to sold out. Again, another example of the desirability of Carmel, because sold out before they're even completed is where they're headed for. That's a beautiful space. Those have helped transform just off of City Center. Civic Square is a nice, energetic hub. My office overlooks Civic Square. And last week we were watching a father and son play football out there, a little bit crisp in the air. And it's just really cool to see those green spaces used for families. And that's what Civic Square and, of course, Melange along the Mona has helped us do. Of course, those condos wrap a free city-owned public parking garage that had put there a couple years ago to help support the parking we relocated when we built the police station, but also to help advance parking for City Center and these condos as well. And the Hotel Carmichael expansion, which we announced earlier this year, where they'll be expanding hotel rooms into hotel suites, which are originally going to be apartments or condos. Now they're going to be an expansion of the hotel with more event space, which we cannot get enough of either.
Yes.
So we're excited to see all those come to life. That one will be coming here next year.
I love that. Well, thank you, Mayor, because we need some more event space, so I appreciate that. You know, in addition to that, Mayor, we may be biased at One Zone, but businesses being able to just continue to skyrocket and take off. And so let's talk about maybe two more projects, Gramercy and in the Marketplace.
That's a massive development. That'll be a 10-year or longer development, kind of off just north of Carmel Drive, northwest of McDonald's there, extending Gramercy further south. We'll do everything we can to keep Jack's Donuts in the city, but that'll take that older style marketplace and redevelop it something really, truly special. Again, with green space, it's a $300 million multi-phase development, and so different pieces of this will come over time, but we're really excited about that. The architecture is beautiful, 28,000 square feet of retail, which again, we really need here in the city, 1,000 residential units over 10 years, and again, design around parks and arts and Publix plazas.
Yeah, I love it. Well, Mayor, obviously when we talk about built for, there's a lot of things that we are built for, and one of those is the quality of life that makes Carmel a desirable location for even businesses to move to. And so I think we might even have a video to talk about that, but let's talk a little bit about businesses and headquarters right here in Carmel.
Well, for many years, businesses have been central to driving the desirability of Carmel. It helps our tax base immensely. But as we've improved our livability, we've also been a better partner back to them because we provide a place where their talent wants to reside. And then now talent looks for a place first and not company. It used to be the other way around. And so we've been a good partner to businesses, and we're so thankful for all the many businesses that call Carmel home. And we have a few here. I've had the opportunity to go out and speak to many of them. Small businesses doing some community connections videos, and then larger businesses understanding their needs and wants to stay here or to grow here. And this video encompasses 3 of them that we heard from.
Carmel is just a special community that it is so easy to be a part of.
Carmel's special, and we all know this.
It is like this hidden gem.
Hi, I'm Andy Ivankovich. I'm CEO of Baker Hill. We're founded over 40 years ago in Carmel, and we serve banks and credit unions across the nation with commercial lending and small business lending software.
My name is Matt Koskell. I am the president of Republic Airways. And we're just so happy to be here now in Carmel, Indiana, for our 6,700 associates who deliver operational excellence and safety each and every day for our code-share partners, American Airlines, Delta Airlines, and United Airlines. Today we have over 500 students who are training to be aviation professionals. So it's a great facility. I encourage the folks of Carmel to come by and absorb all the energy, the technology, and just the passion that we have for aviation on this campus, because we really are excited to bring this excitement of aviation to the city center of Carmel.
I'm Stacy Maurer. I am the Senior Vice President of Human Resources for Delta Faucet Company. We have over 2,000 employees, and 500 of them actually are based out of Carmel.
You know, typically when we say financial technology, it's a company that someone would relate to Silicon Valley in California. But one wouldn't know that here in Carmel, Indiana, we have financial technology alive and well. Carmel is a special place to Baker Hill because this is where we were founded. Like many software companies, we're owned by private equity. They're in New York, and one of the questions came up now that we're different than we were 40 years ago. Is this still our headquarters? So when we were going through this process, one of the things that we enjoyed was Mayor Sue. Mayor Sue came in, we spent a lot of time unpacking where the city was going. Our New Yorkers got to kind of hear that view as well. And what was kind of really neat is that the vision that Mayor Sue has for the city is just right up where private equity wants to invest. And so this is a place to be. Our investors got right behind us when we said, hey, we want to continue to stay in Carmel. And they're like, absolutely, right? And we know Mayor Sue, we know the vision for the city, and so we've announced that we're extending another 7 years with our lease provider and actually expanding our space around our facility here to take on some more square footage.
So we're certainly committed to Carmel. This is where our roots are. We relocated our corporate office in the 1980s to Carmel, Indiana, and that was because this is a great location. We've got great proximity to talent in the area, but it also, the community itself offers a lot for our employees and for our guests and customers.
People ask all the time, why did we select Carmel? It doesn't take long. If you've come and visited Carmel, why wouldn't we select Carmel? This is an amazing place to call home professionally and personally. And the response that we've gotten from our associates on the experience they have when they're visiting Carmel, they're going through training, and during their free time, the important time to recharge their batteries, to refresh and connect, to be able to get out into the community and to experience everything from our art center to the eateries. We couldn't have asked for a better partner than Carmel and the place that we've called home for Republic Airways. What a lot of folks don't realize is this campus is more than just the 700 associates who call it their home base every day, but we also serve approximately 300 of our remote field-based crew members and maintenance operations staff that come here to experience training and recurrent training on an annual basis. We're essentially bringing a 300-person convention to the city of Carmel each and every day of the year, and they love all of their engagement that they have with the city of Carmel.
You know, what's really neat about Carmel, the downtown area is amazing when you're either recruiting an employee or you're trying to land a deal with a national bank that is coming into town. And so we always go downtown. You know, we got folks like Anthony's Chop House, which is amazing. And then when you're sitting in, you know, places like the downtown area and the restaurants, you got people walking up and down on the Monon Trail. I mean, it's just alive and vibrant. And that's what you want to be seen as a company, or at least your headquarters, is, hey, welcome to Carmel, you're gonna hang out, we're gonna have a good time.
We entertained many customers throughout the year, and we leveraged the Palladium to see shows. We've leveraged different local businesses to do fun, interactive activities, as well as the great restaurants that Carmel has to offer. So when we're recruiting for key roles and we start talking to our candidates, they don't often know a lot about Carmel if they're not from this area or if they don't have friends and family here. And we always say if we can just get them here, we can close the deal. Because once they come and they're actually able to see all that Carmel has to offer, they see the great communities, they see the restaurants, they see all of the festivals and the great things that the city has to offer, we can close the deal and get them here.
Some of my favorite things about Carmel, boy, the list is long, right? The Monon is amazing. Not only the ability to walk the trail, to ride bikes, I've taken my kids up and down the Monon to Bub's since they were kids, to get ice cream, to get burgers, to Carmel Fest, which we were so happy to be the sponsors of this past summer. I mean, Carmel is just a special community that it is so easy to connect with and to be a part of on a personal level. You know, we just couldn't be happier, and it's so easy to talk kindly and fondly about Carmel because it's just great people doing great things together and supporting each other.
That was a little longer video, but gosh, we tried to cut it, and they kept saying great things about our city. And where do you cut? This is a great place to recruit. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to have a business. We support our company, our community through sponsorship. And like, oh, so hard to cut.
I know. Well, it is telling when you have business leaders that are willing to take their time and then also just continue to talk about the great things going on in Carmel. So let's talk a little bit about major projects again on the horizon, and more specifically, let's talk about 31.
So you guys have heard us talk about US 31. We mentioned it last year. We've gotten a lot of articles out about it. US 31, as one of our city leaders said, is really representative of our city's relationship with our business corridor in the 1990s and 2000s. It's an older corridor. I talked about the occupancy down in the central core being 2% on US 31. It's up to 40% in some parcels. That means we've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars every year and getting the number rising and rising in tax revenue because some of the occupancy is higher. And so there's probably not a week that goes by that we don't get asked for high quality office space, and we don't have it to develop right now, or we don't have it built for people to move into right now. And so we have been looking very carefully and closely in the US 31 corridor with partnerships. You know, the old model of large standalone buildings where you drive up to it, walk 5 minutes in from the big cracked parking lot and leave at the end of the day is long gone. It's what we're experiencing now is what's called a flight to quality, where those who own and operate businesses have workers who want to be able to walk to a coffee shop for a break with a colleague, or pick up flowers nearby on the way home, or have a restaurant in the first floor of the building that they're in. And that's not representative of what the product is on US 31 at this time. So we want a mix of housing, we want green space, we want plazas with big TVs to watch the Colts win in Germany in overtime. We want trails, and we want hotels and conference space more conference space, Jack.
Yes.
So that's what we've been working on, trying to encourage and incentivize along US 31. There's no announcement today, but we have 2 projects really, really close to announce we're excited about, and I think that the community will be excited about as they hear it moving forward.
I love that. Well, one of I know is a very passionate of yours is innovation, and we talk about innovation, and so Carmel has a reputation of being a leader more than a follower, and so how are we living up to that standard when we talk about innovation?
Well, it's really how we operate and how our city team functions. And we've got great, smart, fantastic leaders in every role. It doesn't matter the title. We have leaders in every single role in our city, and we're really proud of that. And some have 35 and 40, or in Captain Moriarty's place, 45 years of experience, and they bring that to work along with their heart each and every day. But we've tasked them with looking at how we can deliver our services still at a high level, but differently, because we're going to have to do it as we move forward. One of the things I want to recognize is our street department. Not only do they a great job clearing snow that occasionally happens, and also clearing debris from significant storms, but they've also innovated with the GeoTab, and that is were awarded the 2025 GeoTab Innovation Award for Fleet Sustainability, which is incredible. That allows through real-time data and route optimization for them to do their jobs better and smarter. It means reduced emissions, improved fuel efficiency, enhanced safety, and maintains our streets with unmatched professionalism. And we're really proud of the efforts that they initiated in that department and continue to model for other cities around the state of Indiana. If you could give them a round of applause, I'd really appreciate it.
And just so everybody knows, this is not live, so no one's speeding down any road, so I promise. Mayor, speaking of innovation, when we talk about operations, I understand that it's easier more than ever to connect with city services. So tell us more about how we can do that.
Yes, I think we mentioned this last year as well. We were working on a 311 program, and that's for a better way for you to report issues you feel need addressed in our community. You can also use it to give kudos if you want. But if you see trash on the sideway or a pothole, elusive pothole that still is out there, a cracked or lifted sidewalk, or many, many other things, we're excited to launch our brand new Carmel 311 program. This will be available on our website, as well as you can download the app. But you can submit a request, add photos and details, and track the progress all in one place. We've had an app for a while. This is built on better technology. It has a better back end, allows us to track and trend how fast we are getting projects addressed and completed, and also just better communication on the back end. More departments are now connected to this, and I'm super excited about that. And this is more efficient for taxpayers and the people that we serve, so we're proud of that as well.
I love that.
And then also, I don't know if the QR code is up there for people to actually download this app. There you go. So if you want to download it now, you get permission to take your phone out and download the app, or you can find it on the App Store as well under Carmel 311 as well. So
I love that.
We've soft launched a little bit. I'm sure you'll find some bugs. That's how this works with software, but that's okay. If you find them, we get to fix them. So, but we're excited about this because again, it'll allow us to better serve you over time, and that's what it's all about.
I love that, the ability to connect. So not only, Mayor, do we have innovation when we talk about technology things, but how are we continuing to challenge ourselves and our people as well?
Yeah, I want to give an update. Earlier this year, we announced that we were selected to be part of a Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative, and that is built around data, innovation, and collaboration, all things that every community and organization can benefit from. It allows us to solve key programs and problems, improve our performance, and again, collaborate with residents and with our team members to better serve you. It's 100% funded through philanthropic dollars. And the good thing about this is it's intense. It's a lot of time commitment on our staff. I started first with a leadership retreat in New York City with 46 other mayors from 17 countries and 5 continents. Chief Thacker and Chief Sterling then went out, I think a month later, and served with roughly the same amount of peers as well. And we all are charged with tackling a problem that we can use throughout this whole year. Bloomberg will be here next week, later this week, to help us with 2 or 3 days of problem solving as well. Our challenge that we have identified is helping better recruit and retain talent in our police and fire departments. We're the best, we have the best fire department, the best police department in the state of Indiana, all bar, if not the country there. But that doesn't mean we can't look at how we recruit and hire and see if we can do it better, cheaper, faster, and with happier employees along the way. So we're looking at all of that now, and the beautiful thing about this program, as we get our data processes improved with this, we can then apply them to other areas. It's not just recruitment specific, it's a system that we're building and implementing, and what a gift this is. It's literally thousands and thousands of dollars being poured into the city of Carmel through generous philanthropic gifts from Bloomberg Philanthropies, and we are super, super appreciative of all their time. It also is involving our chief of staff, our chief financial officer, our Kevin, who does all of our technology, who helped with that. His team helped with that 3-Run app. So we're excited to be a part of that, and we feel like this is sowing seeds that we can build upon.
I love that. When we continue to talk about people, if any of you were here last year, I believe Chief had a drone, and we had some other things, and now we get to bring up Chief again when we talk about 40 under 40 as well.
Chief Sterling, recognized as 40 under 40. Surprise, sir. We're recognizing you again. Everyone gives Chief Sterling a round of applause.
Yeah.
As we mentioned, he launched Indiana's second drone as first responder program right here in Carmel, and have expanded it through the generosity of local donors. We now have more access to more drones over a larger service area. He helped bring our real-time information center up and running, launch a comprehensive officer wellness initiative, and also is helping us streamline our operational model. So thank you, Chief. So glad to have you as a part of Carmel.
Love it. As we wind down today, Mayor, we're going to end on the third pillar, investing in people. And so let's talk about investing in people here in Carmel.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about is how we want to make sure we take care of those who take care of you. And we've invested more than ever in mental health initiatives for police and fire, but also for every single employee that serves the city of Carmel. And we've invested in Lyra Health, which will provide our employees with much needed mental health resources. And I'm super proud about the fact that the only 2 other employers in the state of Indiana that access this are Republic Airways and Lilly. So we're one of the top providers, one of the top employers to provide this, and we're excited about that opportunity, because everybody needs to recognize that we need time to talk to others potentially, or just take a moment away and talk to an independent third party, and this allows our families with the city of Carmel and our employees to do that. And I know my peer to the north, Mayor Jensen in Noblesville has been really an active leader in talking about mental health, and I just feel like we all need to do this and continue pushing this envelope. So I'm really pleased with our human resources team who went and found this and made this possible.
Yeah. Well, and we continue to invest as well as we talk about a variety of things, one of those being the Safe House as well. So let's talk a little bit about the investment on the Safe House as well.
Really what I want to talk about is the Heroes Club here.
Yeah.
The Heroes Club is an incredible philanthropic organization here in the city of Carmel. They have donated $5,000 to our Safe House. Stay Alive Family Education, we highlighted it last year. Incredible space right here on Veterans Way. We got to preview it last week to a bunch of legislators and other city leaders who hadn't seen it before. We're just so impressed with what we were able to offer from an education standpoint to the littles to the seniors and everything in between. The Heroes Club has also helped us with our canine program, providing kennels and canine bulletproof vests for our canine officers and other things, encouraging other people to donate as well. So I also want to recognize Matt Fry with Bubs. Matt is the president of this organization and just really believes strongly in this mission, is helping expand it to other cities so other communities can benefit from the infrastructure and the philanthropy and the generosity of this organization.
Yes.
So if you get a chance, check out the Heroes Club online, or if you see an opportunity to join at one of their fundraisers, we appreciate that investment and involvement that you would have.
Well, Mayor, as we wind down today, what better way to end our conversation about investing in people than, I don't know, giving out an award? What do you think, Mayor?
I'm super honored to give this next individual this award. The Rangeline Pioneer Award, established in 1992, recognizes those who show exceptional dedication and commitment to the City of Carmel. And I'm honored to present this next one to former Director of Utilities, John Duffy, for over 3 decades of exemplary service. Thank you. Hug. So John, let's turn around here so everyone can see your pretty face. So we have Rangeline Pioneer, the certificate, but we also developed a new award with one of our artists, and we kind of think it looks like water inside of that art piece. You may not, but we think it looks incredibly like it. It's gonna be placed on a pedestal that lights up from the bottom. We felt combining our artist work in this community so you can recognize the City of Carmel, and also your family can recognize all the amazing work that you've done here. What I want to share with you guys is John also received a monumental award from AIM, which is Accelerating Indiana Municipalities, last year, that no other Carmel city employee has ever won before until John won it last year, and we were able to celebrate him before he retired. But John's contributions include pioneering sewer diagnostics and advancing water conservation initiatives, including solar at our operating facilities, and really reliable, high-quality service, and just the expertise day in and day out, solid, reliable, kind. It's so sad to have you gone, but so glad to see you be able to retire and enjoy your life and all the things you get to do outside of here. So everyone, please again recognize John Duffy, our new Rangeline Wide Pioneer. Thank you so much. Appreciate you coming out. We'll get some photos later. So, thank you. They didn't trust me to hold the very pretty Crystal Award and a microphone, and I, for one, am very appreciative of that.
I moved over here now, Mayor, because I want to thank each and every one of you who have been here today, have invested your time, energy, and talent into the beautiful City of Carmel. And Mayor, before I hand the mic officially over to you to close us out today, I want to say thank you to my amazing team who puts up with me each and every day. I want to thank Ascension St. Vincent for your continued investment in the beautiful City of Carmel. And I want to thank all of you. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us today and to hear the stories and the great things that are going on in our city. And I have the privilege each and every day to serve this beautiful city, and I just can't believe that I get to do what I do every day, and that's thanks to leaders like our city councilors, our fire and police, the city employees, and of course you, Mayor, as well. So thank you so much, and with that, I'll let you close us out.
Thank you so much again for you and your team, and thank you everybody for being here. I just want to say Carmel is what it is, again, because of the people that live here, that work here, that invest here, that love this city. And so I want to say thank you to all of you that are here. One thing that just proved what a special community that Carmel is was what we just did over the last week. The mayors of Carmel and Westfield and our city councils banded together to fight hunger. And yes, we had a little bit of a competition on the field Friday night, which unfortunately didn't go Carmel's way. Congratulations to the Westfield Shamrocks. However, together, our communities were able to raise over $50,000 for hunger in 1 week. And again, that's neighbors coming out for neighbors, and we are so appreciative of that. As we look forward, one of the things we get to enjoy next year is it's America's 250th, and Carmel's 50th as a city. We didn't incorporate to the city until 50 years ago, January 1. And so we'll be announcing a special task force to celebrate and engage all of you in how we can make that special, from artwork to events and to other initiatives that we want to hear from you. So we'll be announcing ways to either be a part of that task force and or give us your ideas, because next year's going to be a very special year. And we look forward to celebrating all of that on July 4th at our amazing Carmel Fest parade and celebration, which our incredible Rotary Club has done for nearly 40 years. And they'll be a key part of this initiative. So I look forward to celebrating that with you. But this whole city and all of its success was a deliberate, focused vision that started decades and decades ago. And as we continue on, I look forward to working with our city councilor and our city employees to bringing to life an incredible 2026. 2025 is incredibly challenging with our SCA 1 challenges with reduced dollars going into 2026, increased interest rates, tariff confusion, and lots of uncertainty at all levels of government. It was an incredible year to work through. But we're doing it in a way that we've been able to invest in our parks, invest in our arts, and continue our infrastructure, and continue to invest in our people. So on behalf of everyone in the city of Carmel, thank you for being here. I look forward to celebrating 2026 with you next year, same place. Thank you so much.
We didn't tell you to build that. We didn't tell you to open a business. We didn't tell you to be creative. We didn't tell you to build a life here. We just built a place where you could.